voitures dans tous les endroits ici. Les voitures tout partent de son bord de Jersey.
Cabalangã, Rio, né? Vimos um porco aí, meu Deus. Ué. Mas que assim tem aquela pastilha boa que estamos descendo veloz, hein?
First time, yes.
That's what happened, especially Sunday and Monday.
On est dans le Uber direction Jersey City et il fait beau à New York, mais en plus, ce qui est bien, c'est qu'il fait pas chaud. Là, j'arrive de Miami où c'était juste une catastrophe la température. Et là, ici, il fait trop bon, quoi. C'est beau et bon. Voilà, ça fait plaisir.
More sitting out station, or getting more electricity. If you want to drive 20-60 miles with the fuel, that costs a lot of money.
Yeah.
That $20-25, this average 250 to add. A little bit of traffic out of us, okay. Looks like.
Empire State Building au fond. J'essaie de faire un plan un peu stable, compliqué. Voilà, Jersey City. J'ai raté tout le centre-ville, mais je vous le remontrerai après. On est presque arrivé. We're there yet, right? Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Thank you. Bon, bah voilà, on est arrivé. Alors notre ami, il a une ligne de vêtements qui s'appelle Viva Bastardo. Il a créé un logo et tout. Donc si je l'appelle Bastardo, c'est normal. Hola Bastardo. Yes, I like to document everything. Hi.
Salut.
Nice to meet you. Ça va? You don't speak French, do you? Yeah, a little bit.
Ouais, je parle un peu français.
Ah oui?
Bah ouais,
Ah,
voilà mec ton.
incroyable.
Français.
Ah mais ça c'est incroyable, je savais plus.
À rapetisser un peu.
Bah,
Ça fait des années que j'ai pas parlé.
Il a l'air pas mal.
Tu come into Aladdin's cave?
Tu m'avais...
You gonna skate around there? You gonna skate
No,
around
that's
the car?
what I won in the rally. I did. Okay, so I can film everything? Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Tu m'avais pas dit que tu parlais français aussi, tu m'avais dit, je me souviens plus.
Ouais, we talked it for a long time in French, man. You don't remember?
I didn't remember.
The 220 is somewhere else because I don't have the space for it in here. It's a little large.
So that's c'est la caverne d'Ali Baba, voilà, et les 40 voleurs. Ok, comment commencer? Bah déjà, les gens qui vont voir, ils te connaissent pas forcément, donc qui es-tu?
Who are you? Well, I'll try and do it in English because it'll be easier.
Okay, okay.
Instagram, you'll translate. Instagram name or real name?
Whichever, I mean that...
Mr. Enthusiast or Philip Toledano, your choice.
Okay.
This is the new, I used to be a big Group B collector, homologation collector, and then I sold all that and I thought there's got to be some strange, interesting corners of the internet of cars that I haven't discovered yet. So I've been poking around. So this is the result of the last few years, of a year and a half really. Although this is still left over from my old collection of homologation cars. We've got the original Lancia Bastarda, which started the whole Viva Bastardo brand. We have the Maserati Shamal, the Baron of Box Flares, Gandini's masterpiece, twin turbo V8, one of the best cars I've ever driven. We have here, well, in the center, we have the BMW M1 from 1981. Then we have this crazy thing, a De Tomaso Guara, the last car De Tomaso ever made.
Before you, I didn't even know this thing existed. So.
It's really an amazing thing, and so much better in person, at least for me, than in pictures. In pictures, it looks a little bit weird, but it's a carbon Kevlar body, Formula One suspension, BMW V8, and then we have, last but not least, the Mitsubishi Pajero Evolution, Paris-Dakar champion, the Delta of the Desert.
That's a big bastardo.
It's a super bastardo. So most of these cars I use to pick up my kid from school. Well, actually, this one, and that one. The other two are not so good in the city.
Yeah.
I mean, I could pick her up in school, but I feel like it would be really showing off. So, and then there's also a Jaguar XJ220, which doesn't really fit in the Alibaba cave because it's a little, the space is a little bit cramped in here.
So you drove it around Manhattan, the 220?
Accidentally.
Yeah.
Well, because I was always, it's an intimidating car, though once you get to know it more, once you drive it more, it becomes less and less intimidating. So I had gone for a drive and I was coming back here, but I mistakenly put into my GPS my home address in the city. So all of a sudden I found myself driving to New York City, driving to Chinatown, buses squeezing past you like 3 inches apart, but it was actually fine. But I was really terrified initially. I was like, no, shit, I'm going in the city with this thing, and then it was fine.
And well, what kind of reaction does it get, like, from people? Like, do they know what it is? People
don't really know what it is. I mean, look, I've always been very interested, for the most part, in having cars that are kind of a little bit unknown. It's more interesting to me to have a car that people don't know than to say, oh, look, there's a Ferrari, Enzo, or whatever it is. I just find that stuff is less interesting to me. So, hence the Guara.
Yeah,
This actually, I used to have a Lancia Stratos, and this actually reminds me of the Stratos.
Oh yeah, the windscreen, I can see
the squareness of it, and also this is the thing. This is why it reminds me. I'll open up the front.
Is every piece like custom made for this car, or did they grab stuff from other production cars? That was
everything is custom.
Even those are custom? Yeah?
No, well actually, you know what? I don't know what, but...
Kind of looks like an RX-7.
I know, the headlight's like a little RX-7.
Yeah.
But this is what's so cool. This is why it reminds me of the Stratos. This is a double wishbone inboard suspension designed by a Formula One engineer, by the Williams people actually. So the Stratos is like this. It's just a tube frame chassis with a carbon Kevlar.
Oh yeah, so the suspension is here. Right.
Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah,
the Shamal, by comparison, is I think this is kind of a crazy thing to say, but it's one of the nicest cars I've ever driven. So
you really make me regret not buying one in 2009 when I had the chance.
It's such it's the Le Michelin seats here.
Okay.
Like several Le Michelin died to gave their skins. Have a seat in here, man. Do you want to hold it while you?
Oh sure. Thanks.
Yeah, hang on. It's the most comfortable car I've ever sat in my entire life.
It's really rapid.
It's amazing. It's like Isn't that amazing?
I mean, the seat is the suspension.
It's like a Recaro armchair.
Wow. No, that's amazing. Well, space in the back, not so much.
Yeah, I mean, for like a 6-week-old child, maybe.
But yeah, what you said is it's basically like a 2-door Delta. Like
well, this is. The thing about this car is, I feel like in some ways, stylistically, it's not dissimilar to the Delta. Like the shape of it, the stance of it, and I feel like if in a kind of alternate history world, Lancia had spun off Delta as a brand, and they said, all right, we have the Delta Integrale. Right, that's the kind of hot hatch. Now we need a GT car. This would have been the GT car that Lancia would have made. And it's really quick. It's a V8 twin turbo, 326 horsepower.
So they're like sequential. You have one for the low revs and then one for the high revs.
Man, you are talking to the mechanical village idiot. So whatever you're saying is very possible.
There's no like turbo lag, like the power is
very
smooth.
Very little. But we could go for a drive if you want.
I would be curious to see how
it's really
behaves.
Fun. Yeah. It's really fun.
That's so cool. And you still want to change the color, or you're over?
Well, the Guara, I'm definitely changing the color because I don't like red sports cars.
Yeah, people will be like, "Is this a Corvette or something?"
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Is the color's it doesn't help the car because the cars. The design's actually kind of like this angle here, like this front 3/4 is really beautiful. And when you see it, I mean, you tell me, but I think in person it's a lot more interesting than it is in pictures.
I need a couple more minutes to get used to it, but
So the shapes.
yeah, because I haven't looked at
I mean, it's
every
really,
angle.
go around the back, it's really wide.
You're did I get that wrong? You're a designer, right?
Franck, tu
What?
exagères.
De
Allez,
quoi?
franchement, tu arrives ici.
You speak really well French. I mean,
Non, je suis artiste, photographe, and now I have a clothing line called Viva Bastardo.
hence why I say you design. But,
Well, I don't really design.
yeah,
I mean,
okay.
if it would be, I mean, I don't really design clothes. You know,
Okay.
that would be a bit of a stretch. But
you have
that's
all right,
that's the logo, the elephant waving a broken bottle.
so you drew that.
No, I had a friend of mine design it.
And but you have
En français.
En français, tu as une connexion avec les lignes, les choses. Tu as quand même.
Well, yeah, because I was an art director for a long time. Then I'm an artist, so I mean, aesthetics is really interesting to me. You know, and watches and cars. But I'm always interested. Like I was saying earlier, I like the unusual. I like things that people aren't paying attention to. I like things that have been forgotten. I like things that have been obscured by kind of a false mythology. Like the Chamal is a perfect example of a car that kind of disappeared. You know what I mean? And people are like, oh, biturbo, it's not a biturbo. But it kind of it disappeared in that sort of mythology of terrible Maserati 80s cars. And the Jaguar XJ220 is another car that kind of was obscured by, it should have been a V12, this, that, the other. But when you look through the mist of misinformation, of kind of mythology, and you just look at the car, like, is it beautiful? Is it amazing to drive? What does it feel like? Those are things that are important, not the stuff that people have been repeating for decades and decades and decades.
Yeah, well, we're on the same boat for this. Cause,
Yeah. You like those things too.
Yeah, when I bought my first Testarossa, people are like, "Oh, this is terrible car."
I love the Testarossa.
And
What
that
color
was it was white with the red interior.
That's amazing.
Which actually might be the only one, because even at Ferrari they said we never saw one like this.
Yeah, I never heard of a red interior. Do you want a bit more light? I can open the garage.
Oh,
So I used to have a lot of sort of 60s stuff. I had a 246 Dino, I had a Niso Grifo, I had a Lancia Flaminia Sport Zagato. I had all this 60s stuff. But then I went down to Florida. There was a guy selling a Mangusta, the Tommaso Mangusta. And I got in it and I drove it for about 5 minutes. I thought, this is the worst fucking car I've ever driven in my entire life. But it looked amazing because it's Giugiaro. But in the showroom, he had an M1. So I thought, I didn't really know much about it. I wasn't really that interested, but I thought, you know what, while I'm here, I should just drive it, because when am I going to drive an M1 again? And I drove it and I thought, holy shit, this thing is amazing.
Yeah.
And I sold all my 60s stuff and I started buying Group B cars, homologation cars, you know, the Mercedes Evo 2, Stratos, 037, Delta S4, Peugeot T16. all this
how
stuff.
did you like the T16? I'm curious to.
It was great. It was
Yeah?
better than the Delta S4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was
but
quicker.
yours had like a operated power, right? It didn't have like the stock 200 horsepower. It was
Well,
more than that.
what I did is I managed to find a Group B exhaust, which really opened up the engine. And I found this kind of T16, this kid in Switzerland who never owned one, but was like a guru. And he said, if you just do a couple of little things, if you just increase the boost a little bit, this, that, the other, and it just transformed the car.
I drove one that was completely stuck and it was boring as hell.
Yeah.
Really
Well, it's the
boring.
same with the Integrale.
Oh yeah.
A stock Integrale is not. It's kind of it's good, but when you just add a little bit of horse, this is the bird song of New York.
Yeah, it's not.
So this is now like 280 horsepower, and it's a lot more interesting than the stock one. It just needs like 40 or 50 horsepower.
You've got so much stuff, I don't know where to start. But yeah, that color is like, you can be more 70s than this, right?
Well,
That's,
I mean, my dream color was, I really love the white. And this car in white is kind of amazing. I almost bought a blue one, but but the deal fell through, so I ended up with this one. And you know, it's so great to drive.
Is it, I mean, it doesn't feel dated when you drive it?
No, not really. I mean, it doesn't. It just feels amazing.
So that was a V8?
This is a V6.
V6?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a straight 6.
Oh, straight 6. So how much horsepower was it supposed to?
This is 280. I mean, it's funny because, you know, I used to drive this around when I drove this around in the city. people pull up to me and they go, hey, what kind of horsepower does it put out? And really, like, a minivan is faster than this car. But it just, the way it sounds, the way it handles, it's just glorious.
If you compare those old-time supercars to whatever we have now, it's not relevant anymore. But when you drive it, you feel that it was good for the time. You can still feel like it's...
That's right. Also, I just don't really care. I don't understand the whole thing about horsepower. I don't care about it. All I care is the sensation. I like acceleration. I like the off-the-mark acceleration. But I don't care about, like, what are you going to do with, 800 horsepower?
So what would be like the thing you hate the most about this?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Everything's good? I love all of it. I mean, this car has coilovers, so the suspension is very solid.
Well, in New York, like
in New York, it's pretty tough. I was taking my kid to school and we hit a pothole and she started crying because she thought the car had broken. This is a couple of years ago. These are actually much more civilized to drive.
So the ride quality is good?
It's great. Well, this also has adjustable electronic suspension. This has a 6-speed Getrag gearbox in there, which is a delight. The same box that's in the BMW 850.
Okay.
I mean, there's all sorts of stuff happening with this car that people don't really know about. And then it's got this adjustable suspension so you can make it a little bit stiffer.
And it still works.
Yeah, I mean, it still works.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's so cool. You said this is a BMW V8.
Yeah, you want to...
When De Tomaso was used to like big American blocks, usually.
I mean, what's funny is they made 18 of these with a BMW V8, and then they moved to a Ford. Which is 500 pounds heavier.
Because what's the total production for this? Like how many of them did they make? Like,
they made
roughly?
30, of which 18 had a BMW and the rest had a Ford engine. But the Ford engine's way heavier.
So this is the engine from the 840?
I think it is. Yeah, I think this is the engine from the 840.
Yeah, and that's trunk space.
This is the trunk.
Yeah, De Tomaso, huh?
That's right.
Can't
I
get
guess
it.
it must be
It's just locked, okay. And the car isn't too low for the roads around here?
No, the suspension's really good actually.
Voilà.
But it's got all BMW gauges.
La cabine intérieure de la De Tomaso Guara. It's pretty simple, huh?
Yeah, I mean also this car has no AC, no...
Here we go. Donc il m'expliquait qu'il n'y a pas la climatisation parce que c'est la voiture d'usine et que donc il n'y a pas le... Bon, on va aller faire un tour en chamal. Voiture européenne, ça donne vraiment quand même une sensation différente quand c'est aux États-Unis. C'est vrai que ces sièges sont incroyables. C'est très très accueillant. Elle est 100% d'origine. Tout est, everything is stock. Yeah.
Oh no, you know what's not stock? The exhaust.
Ah, okay.
That's good. It just sounded like a Honda Civic. So,
what model year is this?
you know what? I'm not sure.
the 80s or is it
No,
into
this is-
the
this
90s?
is-
That's the 90s?
This is the last car of the 80s. I like it. It's so great.
So have you done some long distance with it?
Yeah, I mean, I've driven like 3 or 4 hours trips. This is the perfect GT car. Like, this would be an amazing car. You know, drive across France, go to London in, or whatever it is. I'm not really sure where to go. That would be like a. You go down there. You want to go on the highway?
Sure.
Okay,
Well, if you have time.
let's see.
So sad that I missed when you still had the T16. I wanted us to go buy a baguette with the
I
T16.
know, man. That would have been amazing. Yeah, I know. I mean, I guess I had all the Group B stuff. I had Group B cars for maybe homologation cars for like 10 years or so.
Yeah.
And I felt like it was time to sort of experience something else, which I know people think it's crazy to why would you sell those Group B stuff and buy like a Maserati Shamal?
Yeah, because new experiences are good.
What's that? You hear the turbos go?
Yep.
Yeah. C'est assez vite, non?
Non, ça marche bien.
Pas mal.
Il n'y a pas
Le son,
beaucoup
c'est
de lag.
super, le son.
Donc là, c'est
Quand on
un
débouche le...
Ça-
C'est exhaust en français.
échappement.
Ouais, voilà.
Is it a specific exhaust you did or just you tweak the
It's a
original
custom-
exhaust?
No, it's straight pipes.
Oh,
It actually has one of those little valves, you know, you can press the button and it makes it quieter or louder, but there's never any point making it quieter. Not when it sounds like this.
no, because I mean nobody's gonna pull you over for the sun. It makes it's nothing.
Yeah, it's
near,
not crazy, but
yeah.
it's good.
Just enough that the car is alive.
Right. It makes it a little bit quicker. It's got a very stiff clutch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The inside quality is not that bad.
It's great, man. I mean, look at this thing. This is hilarious. Like, this is how fancy it is. Like, they, you know, normally that's steel, but then they did a little leather upholstery on that thing.
Leather everywhere.
Yeah.
There's a test button to see if something's
This is
broken
so
in
this
the car.
is look, that tests all the warning lights. It's very Italian.
Just to make sure that nothing works.
Yeah,
Just-
exactly. Okay, whereas y a rien qui marche là. C'est bon.
It sounds good. Okay. Moment of truth.
Okay, the brake actually doesn't, the handbrake doesn't work, so.
Okay, what else doesn't work?
That's it. Just the handbrake.
Well, it doesn't work in my DeLorean either. So. When I park it, I just engage the first gear and that's it.
You want me to hold
Mine?
that? Yeah. Hang on. Okay, on enregistre là.
Ok, alors.
First, second,
Effectivement, clutch bien réduit.
no brake.
Ça, y a rien.
Just check your mirrors.
Yep, I
You're
checked.
good?
Don't worry.
I'm a nervous co-driver.
Just crossed America with no problems, so hopefully nothing happens. To get used to
Of course, man.
the clutch.
Yeah. You can let it ride. You can let it go up a bit more before you change gears there.
I didn't see there's a turbo gauge.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Why not?
And the power delivery is very interesting because even when you're just slightly push it, you feel the turbo
Yeah.
ready to go.
Yeah, that's right. It's very smooth.
It's crazy.
Isn't it amazing?
Seriously, okay, so being passenger, I don't know exactly what you do with your foot, so
Right.
you just feel the acceleration.
Yeah.
But like, there is no lag at all.
No, I know. It's amazing.
In third gear, 2,000 revs. And the more I push, the more it goes.
Yeah.
And like you see,
It's not like the Delta where there's lag and does nothing and then does something.
This is surprisingly easy to drive.
Yeah, it's beautiful to drive.
I like euros à tirer.
I know. Isn't it an amazing car?
It is.
I feel like it's one of the best cars I've ever owned. In part because it's so surprising. Like think, oh, it's a shit Maserati. This is so comfy.
Yeah. Is there something underneath?
No, just that's just for cruising, going to St. Moritz.
I like the change of fabric.
This is, I think, boar skin.
Oh yeah.
That's what someone told me, at least.
This is good because usually, you know, when it's leather,
it reflects. Yeah, I know.
That and it shrinks with the sun, but this is better. What is that? I like the sound. I mean, I wouldn't track it, but just as a GT, it's amazing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's not. Look. It's not the same as You wanna. If you take a. Yeah. It's not the same as It's not the same chassis as like a Delta. It's not. But you can throw it around, and it's really like the back will come out, but you can control it. I've never done that because I'm a shit driver, but.
Plus, you don't want to break the car. But yeah, the exhaust definitely is just enough so that you hear the car and you're happy, but you don't wake up all the neighbors. Is the Guara is very loud?
You want to go in the Guara next?
I mean, is it super loud? Or?
It's loud inside. It's really loud inside because there's no insulation. It's like it's a race car, really.
You tell me when I have to.
No, just yeah.
What I was saying just before we started, seeing that kind of car, European car in America, in like this US, New York setting is even more disturbing. Because
which car? This car?
Those types of car, European cars like this, like you're used to seeing.
Well, especially in this kind of context, you want to see it like in a beautiful, Italy or France.
But I like the contrast. It's, do people react to this car, or they don't like? They don't.
This one,
I guess it's a bit subtle.
It's kind of subtle. Like some people do. The thing with the Mitsubishi, everyone thinks it's a body kit. They're like, "Hey, nice body kit, bro."
Yeah, because nobody knows.
Right, no one knows what it is.
Voilà. On range la voiture, on avait coupé pendant 2-3 minutes parce qu'il y avait un feu rouge très très long. Et du coup j'ai fait une grosse accélération après, mais on filmait plus, c'est pas grave. Et en tout cas voilà, j'ai fait un coup de deuxième jusqu'à 5-6 000 tours et ça accélère de fou, quoi, ça s'arrête jamais. C'est vraiment, on sent pas les turbos s'enclencher, d'où la raison du biturbo. Ça me fait vraiment regretter de ne pas avoir acheté celle que j'avais vue à l'époque en 2009 en Suisse. Et je savais pas trop ce que c'était à l'époque et personne n'en voulait de ces voitures-là. Tout ce que je savais, c'est que j'avais regardé la fiche technique, j'avais vu que c'était la Maserati la plus puissante de l'époque. Et ça me faisait kiffer, mais j'étais plus concentré à acheter des voitures de film. Mais clairement, maintenant, j'en veux une. Mais les cotes grimpent, hein. Maintenant, ça vaut dans les 100 000, voire plus. De Tommaso Guara. La dernière voiture produite par De Tommaso avant qu'il ferme boutique. Comme il nous expliquait, celle-là a un moteur BMW tiré d'une 840 et c'est une des 16 qui ont un moteur BM. Sur les 30 fabriqués, les autres ont gros V8 américain, Ford. Donc ça c'est mieux parce que le moteur est plus léger. On sent que l'échappement, c'est pas l'échappement BM de série 8. Hein. C'est quand même de la grosse exclue parce que qui a déjà filmé ça comme bagnole, je n'en sais rien, mais personne je pense. Ouch. Ce design est vraiment spécial. Dites-moi dans les commentaires ce que vous en pensez.
It's quite notchy, but reverse is they're right next to each other, so that's reverse.
Oh.
So you have to be careful.
It's a very different experience. Just sitting there,
Ouais, c'est plutôt...
This thing is ridiculous. In a good way.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I just realized now those are like stinging at...
Yeah, we have to get used to.
So this car probably would love to be on the track, right?
Yes, this car would like. Well, these cars were originally designed. They came from. This is basically the Maserati Barchetta, which was designed to be a race car, and then De Tomaso took that design and made it into a coupe. But it was designed as a race car.
All you need to know is the time. That's it.
That's right. Exactly.
It's probably the worst
Yeah.
watch ever to be put in a car.
Yeah.
This is basically a gauge.
It's a hazard light. Yeah, it's got the race brakes that squeak.
Why is there two of them?
2 defrosters.
Yeah. It seems to be quite demanding, right?
What's that?
It seems to be like you have to muscle your way through everything.
Yeah, you do. You have to muscle it.
People must think it's a kid car or something, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know what people think. Like, who knows? I mean, it's such an odd thing.
But there is one minuscule glove box.
Couldn't make the light.
Well, at least the brake worked.
The brakes are very
Brakes
good.
are
Brakes are
working
good.
well.
You have to, it's you know, it's top quality build.
So you have to press, but at the same time you have to
You have
pull.
to press and pull, and there's nowhere to hold on to pull. Yeah.
So the only way is probably with a key, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that
It's actually
bad.
nicely put together. It's just there's nothing in here.
I kind of like the...
Yeah. I mean, there's no, there's no sound insulation,
No radio.
no radio.
No nothing.
Yeah.
I try to remember what car, like the original Corvettes had that, right? The double...
Oh, you're right. Actually, in the 50s.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, shit. Maybe I'm running out of time. We might just
Yeah,
go
let's
around
go.
that. Sorry.
No, it's fine. Actually, that's exactly the same as on the other side, so... Probably, c'est très brutal, hein?
Yeah, carrément.
It is raw. It is
Well, this
very
is
raw.
much more like the. This is much more like my Group B stuff I used to own.
Yeah. Reminiscent of that era for you.
Yeah.
On s'entend pas très bien là-dedans. Je disais. But yeah, green is amazing, but it's been kind of overdone.
I know, but that's the problem. Ooh.
Good turning radius, huh?
Yeah.
So then, I guess there's no power steering.
No power steering.
Allons-y.
Just have to turn. I got carried away.
This is not a racetrack. What are you doing? You're crazy.
I know, man. You got me all inspired.
That's fun. Voilà, petit tour dans Jersey City avec la bourre. Hein. Cet avant est vraiment, il y a des queues de RX-7, il y a un peu de Corvette, mais ça c'est parce qu'elle est rouge qu'on a l'impression qu'il y a des aspects de Corvette. Le pare-brise peut-être un peu aussi. Il y a tellement de design dans le design. merci beaucoup. Ça a été rapide, mais on fera mieux la prochaine fois. Et il faudra voir la XJ220 aussi la prochaine fois. J'ai vraiment envie de voir ça. Merci mon ami.
Merci.
Et viva Bastardo. Et je vais mettre le website comme ça s'ils veulent acheter magnifique. Tu vends les jumpsuits aussi?
Yeah.
Ouais. Ok.
Jumpsuits, all sorts of ridiculous stuff.
Je vais m'en prendre une. C'est vraiment bien. Merci beaucoup.
Cool. Thank you so much, man.
Bye bye. See you next time. On est dans un coin qui s'appelle Hoboken, où il y a une vue de ouf. Tu as la grande vue sur Manhattan. Papa, mate-moi cette vue. J'ai enfin trouvé le passage pour descendre sur le quai. On va se trouver un bon petit resto, un petit café. Et on va se poser et admirer la vue. L'Empire State Building, les amis. Oh, les États-Unis, c'est trop bien. Voilà, je vous laisse sur ce plan du coucher de soleil sur New York, c'est absolument magnifique. Moi je vais foncer prendre mon avion. On se revoit de l'autre côté quand je retourne à Paris. Qu'est-ce que c'est beau. Ciao everybody.